Hey, everybody. We had a little bit of technical difficulty there. I'm Pastor Sam, and this is your Latin America War Report and Migrant Invasion News. I know you're probably getting your ads all closed and everything like that, so I'm going to do a new format where I spend the first minute just telling one little thing about Latin American history or culture. This is the Mask of El Santo. El Santo is the Mexican Superman, and he's a wrestler. And he comes out, he's been in many movies, many of the classic movies of Mexico, Mexican cinema. The hero is El Santo. So every Mexican will recognize this. And let me tell you, the kids get really excited. Wrestling is still very big in Mexico. It's after, I'm going to say right there with soccer is the national pastime. And out of all, this is the great hero. So much so that Nacho Libre did a variation of El Santo and did not wear the silver Máscara de Plata himself when he invented his villain, Ramses. There's a lot going on in the Latin world today. So let's just start with the BRICS meeting. Now, we've been talking about the BRICS for probably 2 years. What's going to become of the BRICS now that Donald Trump has gotten in? What's going to become of the BRICS now that Jair Bolsonaro, described as ultra conservative, a Trumpist president, a Christian baptized in the Jordan River? What's going to happen with the BRICS now that Brazil has really left the Chinese orbit? Well, they're all talking about it right now in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. So all these nations are there, India. And if you read the news, it'll tell you, Brazil's reversing policy because they're really having economic troubles, da 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 da. All right. My Latin America War Report is to tell you what's not in the news. You can go read that anywhere. What's not in the news is that Brazil, all these Latin countries, they're making unilateral deals. Before Donald Trump, it was all about the TPP and these supranational trade authorities. Okay, that age is really over, even though the TPP 11 passed. They invited Sebastián Piñera, the Chilean conservative president, to go to the G20 or the G7 in Europe just a few months ago. And they really thought this is when the Amazon fires were breaking out. And because he leans toward protecting the environment, they thought, we'll get this guy to muscle all the other nations in line. Well, they put him in there with all these big nations. And next thing you know, he's making deals with India for pharmaceuticals. He's selling fish to China. He made all these deals to trade with other nations, one on one. So that's happening. So this is what's happening. You'll read that the huge farm deal with the U.S. and Brazil was, we're not sure it's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. That's a $50 billion deal. So one news article that came out said Brazil makes deal with China for farm commodities, even as there's friction with Brazil and the U.S. Okay, well, that deal was only $177 million. And Brazil's got plenty of soybeans. And China helped them to develop some irrigation infrastructure and stuff. So don't let it fool you. All of these little brothers can be nice to China because Trump is towing the hard line. It's good cop, bad cop. And you know what? They got a lot of soybeans. So let the Brazilians sell some soybeans. And Bolsonaro is trying to bring his economy up out of the place that his former administration, socialist administration, had just ruined it. He's got to bring back law and order, dismantle criminal syndicates. So his economy's not maybe just grown like gangbusters, but they got plenty of agricultural products to sell, and I think they ought to sell some to China. Now, Guaido's supporters, so this is the interim president of Venezuela, took over the embassy by force in Brazil. Even while Xi's in town and while Putin's in town, the security's heightened. They went in and took it, made a deal, and then they finally gave it back. So this was a big, big publicity event. Guaido's supporters are beginning to fight a little here and there, and we can expect more military action in the future. Now, Jeanine Áñez, the interim president of Bolivia, she's really begun to show herself as a media darling and a sweetheart. And I think that she'll run in the election. I was wrong about her. I think she's doing a good job. The president of Guatemala, Jimmy Morales, came out and gave her the right hand of fellowship. So this is what we're looking for, is people that we trust and know to be conservatives that come in and vouch for this person. And Jimmy Morales did it, as did the USA. I'm Pastor Sam.